The number one question that people always ask me is what is the keyword research tool that I actually use to build my blogs? Well, I actually use the best one out there, and it's so good that they actually turned it into a verb. Hello YouTube, and a very special hello to all my subscribers. My name's Phil and welcome to my channel. This is where I document my journey building an online income. If that's something you're trying to do as well, why not subscribe to the channel and give me a like? So what is that absolutely fantastic keyword tool that I use that's absolutely free and is the best one out there? Well, quite simply, it's just using Google. Now, this is something that has been known about for many, many years, but it is kind of one of those things that people think, well, it's just too simple. There's got to be more to it. So I am talking about the Google alphabet soup method, which is literally using the Google auto-suggest to give you queries that you then go and write about. Now, this is the biggest lesson that I learned building traffic was, and it's quite simple, write about things that people are searching for. And I can't believe that for so many years I didn't realize this. I never put two and two together. So what we're going to do today is to look at that. How exactly do you go about it? How do you find those queries that you're then going to write about? So the first thing we've got to do is talk about a niche. So in my last video, I asked people if they could choose a number between 1 and 300. So a couple of people got back to me. So let's talk about what they chose and what niche we're going to be talking about today. So Alex gave me the number 183, and that's about cutting hair at home, but I'm not going to be talking about that today. Tex Stark gave me 164, and that's all about bulldogs. We're not going to be talking about that either. Bassi or Basse N gave me 136, which is all about cheerleading. Yay. We're not going to talk about that either. Wild Fox spoke about number 31, which is yacht maintenance and tips. Not going to talk about that one, unfortunately. Now, the last one I got from Alberto, and he chose number 24, which makes a lot of sense because Project 24, that's what I keep talking about. So 24 is all about a home music studio. So that's the niche that we'll be talking about today. Okay, so before we actually start doing any searches on Google, what we need to do is a little bit of background research. So if I was approaching this, first of all, I would make sure that it's a niche that I was actually interested in. It's a niche that I'm actually going to participate in, because if you don't do those things, you will just come across as a novice and someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. So for example, yacht maintenance, I'm not even sure if I'm saying that word right. So it wouldn't be a great niche for me. But home music studio, well, I could probably do this website. I play guitar, I have a home, I could probably build a studio in it if I wanted to. So what I would do at this point is actually go and do that background research. I would spend a couple of days and I would go into Facebook groups, I would listen to podcasts, I would binge watch YouTube channels. I might even go and find a couple of shops in town and go and talk to the people there about sort of the things that I can buy, how I could build my own home studio. So I would go out and do a lot of research and spend several days doing that. But through movie magic, I'm just going to change my t-shirt. Oh, hi guys. I've just been spending the last couple of days researching home music studios. Yeah, seriously. Okay, so now that I've done a little bit of research on this niche, we're going to go into the computer and talk about the Google alphabet soup method. So let's do it. Okay, I'm here in my computer and I don't know if you can hear any noise, but they're doing a bit of building work upstairs. It's been happening for weeks, so I'm just going to have to push through, so I'm sorry for that. So I've done my background research. I've kind of got familiar with the niche. If I was doing this for real, I probably wouldn't pick this niche unless I knew that I was going to pursue it. And what I would do now is actually, I would go into Project 24 and I would go back and I would look over the course that's all to do with search analysis. And I would go back over the video that they have there that's all about how to do this because it's really insightful, and they even have an over-the-shoulder like 1 hour special where they show you how to do that. But for some of you, that's not going to be available. But I would just do that to refresh my my approach to this. But if we go and look at how you actually do the Google Alphabet Soup. So the first thing is to use a search browser that you're not already sort of signed into. So I use Firefox and I haven't signed into any of the accounts. And that way it's not going to kind of skew the results for what you've searched before, because that's what Google are very good at. The other thing is I'm going to use a VPN because I'm not based in the USA. So this is a VPN service that I use, and it's got me logged in as if I'm in Salt Lake City. So is anyone from Salt Lake City? If you are, say hi. So I actually use this one. It's called Surfshark VPN. It was a pretty good deal, I thought. So if you're looking for one, I can recommend this. It seems to work fine. Okay, so basically what is the alphabet soup method? Well, what we're going to do is to put into a search query. So something that I know is to do with home music studios is something called a pop filter. So pop filter, this is for a microphone to filter pops, I assume. So what you would do is you put in your main keyword, and then literally what you're going to do is get Google to auto-suggest the rest of the phrase. So if I just say A, it's going to come up with a bunch of searches. So we've got pop filter Amazon, pop filter mic stand, okay, pop filter AT 2020, pop filter and windscreen, and you get the idea. So you kind of go through, and if I use the down arrow, I can go select that and copy it, and then I'm going to go over to a Google form and I'm just going to put it in there. So I can wind that up, and then I go back and I'm just going to go grab another one, foam cover, okay, Control A, Control C, and then back over, and so on and so on. Then once I think I've got all of the A's, I'm going to do B. Same thing, so pop filter, Best Buy, pop filter, Snowball, Blue Snowball, I don't know, is that a brand or something? Maybe I'll have a look at it. But at this moment, I'm just kind of collecting as many queries as I can. But I'm only going to collect the ones that I kind of feel could be something people are searching for. If it's a little bit weird, and you can see it's weird even as a beginner, then you know, don't put it on your list. It's probably not going to work out for you. So once I've done that, I'm going to do C, D, E, F, etc., etc. So that's the alphabet soup method. But you can even go a step further. So what I've got is a whole list of words which I will share with you in the description, and you're basically going to ask questions. So if, for example, I said are pop filters, and now I've got this, are pop filters worth it? Are pop filters universal? What are pop filters for? Etc., etc. So we could also do what pop filters, what are pop filters for? What do pop filters on microphones do? You can see it, and you can go through and select those ones, and we put them onto our list. And what we can even do is, for example, if we did what asterisk and then pop filters, we can get Google to fill in the blanks as well there. What stores sell pop filters? What are good pop filters, etc. So maybe I'll take that one, put it on my list. And so I've got a whole list of this. So using all these questions, is, did, will, if, who, where, etc. And you can just go through and put that in front of all your keywords and see what comes up. Now, this is I'm only using this for one word, pop filter. There are so many different terms within this niche that I could come up with lots and lots and lots of queries to put onto my list. So remember, at this stage, all we're really trying to do is just to come up with lots and lots of queries, and we're going to go through them a little bit later and then select which posts we're going to choose. So this is one way to use just the auto suggest. But if we actually go and search this, for example, so you can see, yeah, so I'm Salt Lake County, Utah. So another thing that we can use is people also ask. So what can I use a pop filter for? What is a pop filter's purpose? How much is a pop filter? And if you select these, they'll give you more. As you go through them, Google will just keep giving you more. And you can sort of just highlight these and put them on your list. So you've got all of this here as well. And what's more, at the bottom of the page, you also get these search terms. Now, you might not, best pop filter for Blue Yeti. Okay, that could be an interesting one. Let's click on that one. So I might take that term and I'll put it onto my list. And then again, you can go down these kind of rabbit holes and see what you find. And again, you get more people also ask. So you can do this on the actual Google web page there. But you can also use other tools like Keyword Sheeter. So you can use this free website. It's called keywordsheeter.com. Make sure you don't say that wrong. So if I just put in my keyword, let's say, we'll just go very broad. We'll say home music studio. So press sheet keyword. Bound to make a mistake with that at some point. And then we click start job here. And it should just start generating search terms. Now, what you can do is you can put them straight onto a list, or you can go back into Google. For example, let's take home music studio design ideas. Let's see if that comes up. So home studio design ideas. So it's definitely there coming up as an auto suggest. So that means that probably it's something that we could consider as a keyword. And this will go on and on and on until you stop the sheeting. And you can actually export the data as a CSV file. So this is quite useful as well for generating ideas. You can also look at another website, which is called answerthepublic.com. And again, if I just put in my keyword there, home music studio, and I did search. Okay, so if we go through, it displays information in different ways, but if you go a little bit down, you get sort of the alphabetical way, and it's kind of a quick way to do the alphabet soup method. So you can go through this, copy them into your list of queries that you're then going to check later on. So this is another way to generate ideas. The only issue here is that it doesn't really make as many connections as Google does between different search terms, but it's still a good way to come up with ideas. Another way to come up with ideas is actually to use a keyword research tool. So you probably know of Uber Suggest by Neil Patel. Now, the thing with the keyword search tools is do not believe the numbers, because the numbers are wrong. This is something that we are taught in Project 24, because that's kind of the empirical evidence that the founders, Jim and Ricky, have of these tools. And it kind of makes sense, right? The only people that know the real numbers and search volume and all that sort of thing are Google, and they don't share that with anyone. So all the numbers that you see in these keyword search tools, they're kind of not the right numbers, so they can mislead you. But keyword research tools are great for inspiration. So again, if I put in home music studio, and we're just going to see what comes up, just to jog our memory, sort of get the juices flowing. Okay, so basically, if we look here, all this trend volume, all this stuff, not worth looking at. We're just interested in the keywords. So, for example, if we can see any more, they will give it to me for free. So let's have a look. Home Music Studio layout. Let's see if that comes up. Home Music Studio L. Yeah, so that's coming up there. What else is interesting? Oh, Music Studio soundproofing. Soundproofing, that could be a whole different kind of section of the website here. Again, let's just double check. If I go S, soundproofing. Okay, so it's there. And I mean, that could take me down a whole different rabbit show, because it could be, you know, for example, if I did how soundproof, how soundproofing works, how soundproof are apartments, let's say Music Studio soundproof. Okay, so at this point, Google's just kind of trying to suggest anything they think comes next. Now, this may not be an actual search term that someone puts in. It's not really completing it. So maybe, I don't know if people are asking how to soundproof, but we can see. Oh, okay. Here, people also ask, how do you soundproof a music studio? So that is probably how they're phrasing it. So again, I'm going to take that and I'm just going to put it on my list. So the point I'm trying to make with these keyword research tools is I'm only interested in them for ideas. I don't care about the numbers they're telling me, because the numbers don't mean anything. That's my opinion. The other thing is, you don't have to just rely on Google as a browser. You can use Bing, for example. So music, what is it? Home Music Studio. And I can do the same thing, A, B, and it might come up with different ideas, but always go back and check. Another really good one is DuckDuckGo, because if I do this, so Home Music Studio, A, B, C, oh, D. It normally comes up with a few more ideas than are listed in Google, but it's not doing it for me right now. Okay, so that is how you generate a lot of ideas, but what do you do once you've got all these ideas? So, you know, you can see I've got over 100 different search terms. Now what you want to do is actually go, and for each of them, go into Google and make sure they come up as a Google term. We should know this already, but we're actually going to go search them. We're going to read all the articles, and based on the results that are coming up, we're either going to say, yes, we're going to write it, or no, we're not. So the reason to actually write an article is when the results coming up don't actually match up with the query or the user intent. If they're off topic, that is a gap in the market. However, if every single article in that SERP is on topic and they're answering the question as well as it could be answered, probably it's not worth your time to actually go after that. So once you've spent a long time, several days, coming up with different queries, go and look at them each individually and check what the competition's like. Just because you found a good keyword doesn't mean that you have to write it, because at this stage, if I'm starting this website today, I've got no chance against the big boys in this sort of market. So that's how you can use Google Alphabet Soup to your advantage. As some of you know, we're doing something called the Content Warrior Challenge in Project 24 this month. And what I've done is actually to set up a separate Google form for anyone watching today. So all we're doing is trying to write a minimum of 60 words, either in post form or video form. And basically every day we're just going to record how much we've done to encourage each other and motivate each other to do even more. If that's something that you'd like to participate in, you can still do that. There will be a link in the description that will take you to the sign up form. It's absolutely free, and although you do have to provide an email address, it's literally so I can add you to the Google Sheet. I'm not going to try and contact you or send you anything like that. So, and if you've already signed up, I'm sending emails out today, so you get access to that. And also, if you just want to see how we're getting on, you can also have a look at the Google Sheet and just view it as a spectator. So I'm going to get back to this because I quite like this. maybe this would be a new site for me. Probably shouldn't be, but maybe.